Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently... I love when I get the comments where people guess what time it is before I say it. So do you want to guess what time it is? Anyone? Anyone? It is currently 3:24 a.m. Do you want to guess the temperature? Okay. Well, on this... How should I describe it before you guess it? On this cloudy, cooler, damp evening. Oh, what is it today? Hold on. Monday going into Tuesday. Monday evening going into Tuesday morning. Well, I guess it's Tuesday morning already. Like the store, Tuesday mornings. And it is 64 degrees outside. So it's not cold, but it's colder. And allergy season is in full effect. My nose is running and I have a slight headache. And that's how I woke up. I laid down at, I think it was like right at 11. No, it was a little bit after 11 actually. Because I set my alarm for 12:30. And then Alex had a dinner with his 3 girlfriends tonight for one of his friend's birthdays because she's going to be out of town for business. So, and he got home. I set my alarm for like 12:30. He got home at like 12 because they went to dinner and then they went over to the one girl's house that lives close by. I uploaded videos, watched an episode of Welcome to Plathville, and yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. Here was my plan. I really wanted to get up and vlog for like an hour, obviously, you know, or an hour and a half. And then I wanted to finish Grilled for Murder, which is the audiobook that I'm listening to right now, the Cozy Mystery. And then I wanted to finish it because I had kind of forgotten until, I guess it was yesterday, I don't know, that the sequel to Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe comes out today. And I was like, okay, I think that on Audible at like 3 a.m., like when it becomes like midnight, you know, Pacific Standard Time, I think is when, so that would be, you know, 3 a.m. for me, that I think that I'm gonna go forward. I think that they go, I'm gonna go straight. I have a friend of mine back in the day. He used to always say, he's since passed away, it was my friend Duke. He would always say, never straight, always forward. Anyway, so I was like, well, maybe it'll come out today at 3 a.m. And then if I finish the other book, then I can start that. I mean, I've only been waiting, what, 7 or 8 years to listen. Well, I don't know. When did I listen to Aristotle and Dante? I listened to it before. I listened to it like while I was writing my book, I think. So that would have been, or while I was editing my book, spring, summer of 2014. So that's been 7 years, yeah. I mean, I've only been waiting 7 years for a sequel for this book, and I think as has many other people in the world, because this is such a fantastic, the first book was so fantastic that I'm really, really, really excited to see what has happened to Aristotle and Dante. And I just love Benjamin Signs. I mean, I love his writing. I think it's so beautiful. I went and I looked and I noticed that the book is rather short. Which is, it's whatever, but like Aristotle and Dante, I don't remember being a short book. I could be wrong. There was a book that he put out called Last Night I Sang to the Monster, which is about heroin addiction, and it's about this kid that goes to treatment. He's like 18 or 19 in the book, and he ends up having this roommate that's like 50, and then he goes like this treatment program, and it's like him and all these adults. Like he's like the youngest one there, which I totally relate to, you know, because that was my experience when I went to treatment. But he like becomes friends with this guy, his roommate, and he like learns all these life lessons from him, and the guy's like really cool, and it's just, whereas Aristotle and Dante is about sexuality, like that one has like he doesn't, Benjamin Ayler Science doesn't usually write books that have to do with like sexuality issues. He just writes about people. He writes the most fantastic characters in the world. And so he wrote another book about someone and Juliana go to Hollywood, but it's about Hollywood, Texas. And I really, really liked that book too. There was another book that he wrote. I like went in and I like read everything that he had that was out on Audible at that time. And but he wrote a couple years ago a book. It was about the same time that John Green came out with Turtles All the Way Down, because I can remember it was like I had all these idols in young adult writing that wrote these books that I was extremely disappointed with, because Turtles All the Way Down, I was really disappointed with that book. And then Benjamin Ayler Science wrote the book The Inexplicable Something of Things. And I can remember just being like, yeah, this is not it. Like, this is not the book that I was looking for. And it felt like rushed, and it felt like, and he got a lot of really bad reviews on that book. And I can remember he actually got, like, kind of like a bad reputation because he responded to somebody really negatively on their Goodreads review. I think that's what it was. Like, somebody just like wrote a review on Goodreads, which is like the book app that I always talk about. And he like responded to them and was like, what would you know? And blah, 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 or something like that. And the inexplicable logic of, I can't remember what the name of the book was, but my friend that I was talking about the other day, when I said the M car and I said McLaren, it's actually Maserati. And there's the Maserati dealership right there. She drives the Maserati SUV. As far as I'm concerned, is a ridiculous amount of money to spend on an SUV. It just literally looks like any other SUV that you would see, except for the emblem on the front is different. And the inside of it is nice, but this is kind of like car right here that I'm driving. You guys, I don't know if you can see it at the car window, but it's like Maserati and Alfa Romeo, and then it's like that, and then it's Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and then CarMax. And then back there were some other ones, Porsche, Audi, and I can't remember the other ones that are on the other side. Well, that's the only one on the other side, but then there's like a Jeep Wrangler dealership and some other stuff. Anyway, oh, thank you guys, by the way, for the positive comments about me showing Broad Ripple, and that was really nice, and you guys were like, show us more around your area, and blah, 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 and that was really fun for me to do. And not to mention that I have that on video that I can, like, you know, later look back on if I want to, and just see that area if I'm not there anymore, or, you know, whatever. So I just want to say, or if it changes, because, you know, areas change. So I just want to say thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I went back and I read, I hadn't been able to read comments the last couple days because it's just been really busy. And so I went tonight and I went back and I read like the last 3 days' comments. Let's see, what else should I say? I was asked to announce this, and I don't know, I can't remember who started it, so I don't want to guess at a name, because I'll look it up and I'll tell you guys tomorrow or the next day. But a few people that watched the vlog started a Facebook group called Peter Monn's Vloggerinos, and which was really, really sweet. And they just wanted a place to like get to know each other, and it's really about you guys. It has really nothing to do with me on there. Well, I mean, she posts like the videos that, like, where I, you know, if I vlog or do like a Peter Does Stuff video, she posts them over there, or somebody posts them. But I just want to say that was really sweet, and I appreciate it. And so she's invited anybody that wants to come over there and just kind of hang out, like people that, you know, maybe like have gotten to know each other in the comment section or whatever. So I thought that that was really sweet. Thank you so much for doing that. They asked me, or she asked me originally, she was like, do you care if we do this? And I was like, I mean, it's really up to you, you know? But I think it's really just such a nice gesture. So it means a lot to me. So thank you. you know, it means a lot that I have a really nice comment section where when people share personal stuff about what's going on in their life, you know, other people will respond and say like, hey, like, I'm thinking of you, or I've been through something similar, or whatever. But, you know, like, none of that has anything to do with me. Like, I really want you guys to realize that. I mean, I may just host a space, but that's really about you guys and the quality of people that you are, that's how you treat one another. And I just think that that's really beautiful, and I really love that, you know. And it's not even just on this channel, it's really like on most of my channels, even on my drama channel. You know, it's interesting, I'm not gonna say that I don't get some comments that, you know, are a little nasty from time to time, but by and large, it's, you know, even when people don't agree with me, or they don't agree with comments that other people have made in the comment section, it doesn't become like a battle. It becomes kind of like, well, did you ever think of it this way? Or, and then like, even like as nasty as I see it get sometimes over there, it's just kind of like, well, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. It doesn't ever, like, people don't name call and stuff like that. And not that I think that I'm any greater than anybody else out there, because I don't. But when I do read other drama channels' comment sections, because I do, you know, sometimes just to see what the reception is to what they're saying or whatever, it seems a little different to me, you know. It seems like sometimes there's a lot of, like, you know, FUs and all that kind of stuff that I just think is unnecessary as far as having our opinion. We can all have our opinion, and we don't have to, like, I mean, it's 2021, and the majority of us that are talking about these things, we're grown adults, like, and whether we're, you know, hiding behind, you know, a keyboard as keyboard warriors or not, like, doesn't mean that we have to be nasty to other human beings. We can still have our opinion, and we can be nice about it. I've never understood the need to be just outwardly nasty. Like, I don't really understand that. I mean, when given the option, why would you just be ruthless? Really speaks to the person that is doing it, and how much pain and misery they are in, and probably to some degree how they have been treated in their lives as well, which makes me sad for them. You know, it's like, you know, haters don't become haters, like, of anybody, you know, like, like, it's interesting in, like, reading comment sections on, like, okay, Amberlynn Reed, her channel's a good channel, like, it's a good example of this, right? You know, there's people that hate watching Amberlynn Reed, or get a kick out of, like, calling her out for her lies, or her trolling, because Amberlynn trolls. Like, that's just period, end of story, okay? And she knows that she's trolled, and I've called her out about it in the past, person to person, and she's basically admitted it. So, you know, we know that she trolls. Like, when Amberlynn is doing the things about, like, let me show you my workout routine, and she's like, sometimes I walk 4 steps in space, you know, in same space. Sometimes I walk to the right, sometimes I walk to the left, and then she's like, this is a really good workout. And, you know, she's trolling when she does that stuff, okay? We know that. So, when she gets comments that people are like, this is, like, the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Okay, that's, like, a fair comment, right? When somebody, you know, and I understand that people watch her because they just sort of like, this is absolutely ridiculous. When I tell you the amount of YouTubers, big ones, that have told me that they watch Amberlynn, but then they're like, but don't tell anybody, because, like, I mean, there's this huge community of people out there that watch her, you know, and people, I think, are just, they just watch this life unfold, right, that she's put out there, of which I think, to some degree, like, she's kind of, like, killed her channel a little bit, because I went and looked at her channel not too long ago, and I hadn't in a long time, but it was, like, when she and her girlfriend broke up, and she's doing, like, almost 100% live streams now. I think she just did a video, she came back and did an actual vlog, but she's doing, like, total live streams, which is, like, 2 hours. Like, this is a comment that people would leave that I think is fair, and this is my opinion of it, right? I think it's complete laziness to have a channel where you are just sitting in front of a camera for 2 hours talking. I mean, it's just a live. You might as well just be on Twitch or something like that at that point, right? Because you're not really creating YouTube videos. And hey, be critical of me saying this all, you know, I'm totally open to this. But for me, it's just like, if your entire channel is just live streams, I don't like. Maybe if your channel starts out that way, or that's what it is, I get it. But like, if you used to do videos and now your channel is completely live streams, which I enjoy doing live streams. I haven't done one in a while, you know, but it just seems like an easy out to me, right? Okay, so anyway, to make a comment like that or whatever, I think is fair on Amberlynn's channel. But you guys, she gets some ruthless comments. I mean, she gets some comments that I don't even know how I would feel about myself if I thought the things that these people said, let alone said them, let alone wrote them in a comment for other people to say and have your supposed name or fake name off of YouTube attached to it. It's like, whatever we feel about somebody, whatever we feel about what, it's like, we don't always have to share our opinion. You know, and in all honesty, our reaction and our response says, you know, I read this quote, I don't remember how long ago this was, but I really liked this quote, and it said, what other people do, or no, what other people do is their karma, how we react and respond to it is ours. And, you know, it was really interesting reading that, basically saying that the actions of others, like, that is, like, what they get as a response to that is on them, right? But how we respond and react to it is on us. And I really, really agree with that statement. You know, it's kind of like, we can't control what other people are going to do or going to say, but we can control our response to it, you know? And I think we live in a world today where we all feel like we need to share 100% of our opinion all the time, you know, about about everything, you know? And it's like, there are some things that maybe we just don't need to share our opinion about, you know? I don't know. Or let me rephrase that. If you're going to, how are you saying it? You know, because one of the most valuable lessons I've learned in the last couple years is it's not necessarily what I say, it's how I say it. You know, I can say the same thing 2 different ways and people are going to respond differently to it. And do you want someone to hear what you're saying? Do you want them to take it in and really listen? Or do you want it just to be words that they like cut down right away? You know, because for me, I don't know how you are, but like for me, the way that somebody speaks to me dictates how long I'm gonna listen to them. So if somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, like, yada, 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 and I'm like, oh, okay, really? Mm-hmm, yeah, okay, and then we're having like a conversation, or if it's like a comment and somebody says, you know, and you don't even have to say, Peter, I love you, but if you're like, hey, just like, I disagree with you, but like, look at, you know, this is what I think, or whatever, like, that's totally different than you and start it with like name calling and whatever. Like, that's unnecessary. Like, I don't know why we do that. Like, I don't know why we need to go to name calling. But I cut off pretty quickly with name calling because, see, when I was growing up in school, that's always how statements started with me. You dun 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 followed that, and then it was, and so after that point I just shut down. I didn't listen. And I'm still kind of like that today. Like, now they got tables and chairs in California Burger. They're moving right up. It's like, every day I give you a little update on the California Burger, you know? But like, how are you with that? Like, you know, I don't know. But going back to what I was saying originally, I just want to say, you know, the way that you guys are to each other in the comment sections and the way that you leave such nice comments and stuff, I really, really appreciate it. I woke up and I was so thirsty for water, you guys. And I was like chugging water in the kitchen while I was filling my water, because I have like one of these like water jugs. It's like the pure water jugs or whatever, you know, with the filter. So I had filled this, and so I was filling that up while I was chugging water from this water bottle that I had from the refrigerator. That was like this, looks like a milk carton. I got them off of Amazon. I thought they were cute. I don't know that they're very realistic. They don't hold a lot of water. They hold about 16 ounces, and I can drink 16 ounces of water in about 2 seconds flat. But I like chugged this water, and then I was like, oh my god, I almost brought 2 of these big cups of water. That I was like, well, if I'm really that thirsty, I'll just come home and get more water, I guess, or something. There's something about ice cold water in the middle of the night from your refrigerator. You know, like not from, I mean, I'll drink from the tap. I don't have a problem drinking from the tap. Alex is so weird about that. Like, he will not, he's like, is that tap water? He was like, I didn't hear you get it. Because he has like one of those pure things in the refrigerator. We have separate ones. Not for any big reason except for that. I got the one I did so I could start like, I could keep track of how much water I'm drinking in a day. Because it's like 1 gallon. Or 2 gallons, I don't know how much it is, but anyway. He has like one of those things with a tap on it that I got him like years ago. So we have both of them sitting side by side, which is stupid, but. So like he'll be like, can you get me a glass of water if I'm like walking in the kitchen? I'm like, yeah, sure. So like I'll get him water and he'll be like, I didn't hear you. He'll be like, I heard you turn on the tap. Is this tap water? And I'm like, no. He's like, because I don't want tap water. I'm like, I know that after 13 years that you don't drink tap water. I don't have an issue with tap water. I don't like well water. I don't like well water. Although, thank you for those that said bless you, I appreciate it. Although, I would drink well water. I mean, like, if that were the only option. I'm like, watching that show, The Last Man, on Hulu. Well, I guess it's on FX, and now it's on Hulu. They show it on Hulu every day. I have, like, really mixed feelings about this show. I don't know why this show is, like... I think I left some Kleenex in here. Please tell me that I did. Oh, shoot. I think I took them out of here. No, I did leave them in here. So The Last Man is the show. It's really good and it's really well done. And it's with Diane Lane, who I love. And although I can't think of what she was in before, but she's been in a bunch of movies. And she's like Secretary of State or something, and it starts off, the first episode is like the whole day and night before the event occurs. And the event is that it's like this worldwide, they call it an event. The worldwide event is like that anybody born with a Y chromosome immediately, like their brain explodes and they die. And they start bleeding from their head and stuff. And so it happens like all over the world. So the world is left with only women. And so it's like about the restructuring of the political system, and it's very much, I was like telling Tanya this tonight because I was trying to get Tanya to watch it. My cousin Caroline started watching it tonight too because I told her to watch it. But it's very much like The Walking Dead if The Walking Dead had no zombies in it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you know, kind of like how they're always like trying to find like the next place to live and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's very like that, you know, like they're going from house to house and rebuilding communities and all this kind of stuff. It's very scary. But there's one, I gotta pull in here and blow my nose. There's one guy left in the world, but nobody knows that he is alive because he like stays hidden. And then it's kind of about, he's like, it's all focused really pretty much around him. I'm trying to figure out why he is alive when nobody else is. And we'll do a little late night drive by Taylor's Bakery over here and see if they're inside cooking. It's extremely, extremely interesting. I will tell you what my issue is, okay, with the book or with the movie. Are they in there? Oh, they are. They're in there cooking already. Their area in there is so huge. It's so fun to see in there because like their little store is so small and family, you know, owned. But I think this is going to unfold more as the season goes because they bring it up as a topic like right away. And I'm not being militant about this. I just think a show in 2021, like I think it's such an interesting concept that you would come up with this in 2021, right? Where all of the men are wiped from the earth and then it's just women, okay? What's interesting to me about that is that there's this huge discussion in the show about, there's like a group of women that believe that we need men, and they're like, and so it's like, it's this show that's like really like, if, I have a feeling it'll be canceled after one season because every show that I get into gets canceled after one season, right? But if this show were able to be open to having a conversation, I think it's really an interesting conversation, right? This world that we live in where we have, you know, kids that have two moms and on and on and on. And there is a trans male character on the show, and who is still alive because he's trans male and identifies as male, but doesn't have a Y chromosome. And so, like, that whole discussion is interesting. And how he is treated on the show. Like, last night in an episode, someone said, why would you ever want to be male? And him having to, there's a whole huge discussion about his character and him having to explain over and over and over again his story, because when you see him, he physically presents as male, right? But people don't treat him that way because all of the males are dead. And so it's a whole discussion about that, which then brings in a whole discussion to me personally about, you know, people that identify as, you know, gender non-binary and gender fluid. And it's like, well, what about all of that? And it kind of just like, the whole idea of the show just erases that. So that's interesting to me, that in 2021 we would put a show out like that, where, but there is discussion about it in the show. I mean, like, it is discussed. So it's interesting to me if this show, like, I don't know, it's hard to watch the show and just see it as a show about this guy that's like the last guy on Earth. And even his attitude as far as being the last guy on Earth is like very, well, he's very sarcastic, but like, he doesn't want to be the one picked, you know, and so, I don't know, it's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. I just got to like the 5th or 6th episode and something major just happened. So I'm excited to keep on watching the show. Unfortunately, I don't know when that will be. Because tomorrow night I have my home group meeting and we have a business meeting afterwards, so we'll be there late. And then Tanya Jean and I have not had a fountain. I talked to her today. Well, I talked to her last night after I vlogged. And she was back at the kennel. And she was like, anyway, she just was really tired, and so we were talking. The camera stopped. I don't even know where it stopped. I was talking about Tanya Jean and how she's been working overtime and resting her feet and going basically from work to home to work to home. And so anyway, I haven't really seen her. She's been so busy. But we've been talking every day. And so I was asking her about the meeting tomorrow, and I said, you know, do you want to go to the meeting tomorrow? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And so I said we would just have a fountain pop after the meeting tomorrow. So I won't get home until late. And then I have a feeling I probably will want to listen to the Aristotle and Dante book tomorrow night. Just because I don't think I'll have much of a chance to start it tonight. If I get done with Grilled for Murder tonight, if I stay up that late, then maybe. This water is so good. I don't know how much, I don't know how much more time I have to listen to the book, because my thing is being really weird on my, I guess I could actually plug it into the charger, and I could see. My Bluetooth is being weird on my phone. Which is when I want it to work the most is when it does that. So let's see if it goes up here. It sometimes goes right to the Bluetooth. Connect device. It said I did connect the device. Yeah, something's going on with my audio system tonight. I don't know really what it is. But anyway, I think I have like an hour and a half left. Well, if I have 4 hours, what is that? 24 and 24 is 48. I don't know. About an hour and a half, I think, I have of the book. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to get it started tonight. I don't want to go to bed. I mean, if I go to bed that late, that's like 6 in the morning. I don't want to do that. Just to listen to like 10 minutes of the book. That doesn't even make sense. Oh, my Lord. So today, what did I do today? Got up. Did a bunch of stuff around the house. I don't know why this is not connecting. I did a bunch of stuff around the house, and then took Tucker to the vet appointment today. Which, that went well for his annual. A few things they're watching. Let me see what is going on here. I don't know what is going on with this thing tonight. It has to do with my phone. Because it'll play through the aux cord, but it's not playing on this cord. It won't even pull up. It won't pull up on my Bluetooth. So I don't know what is going on. It's really weird. Hold on, which one is that? It's really weird. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Oh well. But went to the vet appointment, and then after that came home, and Tucker got a bunch of treats because he was such a good boy. And then I filmed drama video, Peterism's video, Oh, I filmed my review video too, because I had picked up my crumble cookies earlier and forgot my camera. Oh my god, I went into Crumble Cookies today, and like as soon as I walked in and was in line, this girl came up to me that works there. Her name is Emily. And so, hey Emily, how are you? She said she watches my vlogs, which is so weird because like every time somebody comes up to me, which is you guys like almost never, like almost nobody ever comes up to me and says hi. So when it does happen, it literally makes my day. I mean, today she has no idea. It was just like, I was just like beaming from head to toe when I walked out of there. It made me so happy. Because I love getting to do what I do and making videos, you know, and stuff. And so when somebody like comes up to me and says like, oh, it's really cool, I listen to your vlogs or whatever, or your review videos, and she talked about my vlogs first, it just means so much to me. And so anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so she was like, yeah, I watch your vlogs and I watch your reviews, and I just think it's really cool that there's a vlogger here from Indiana and whatever. And so I was like, oh, thank you so much. And then she went right back to work really quick. I asked her name, and then she went back to work. And then I asked her what her favorite of the week was, because they don't have boxes of 6 there. You can either get singles or boxes of 6. So I always get boxes of 6. So anyway, I asked her what her favorite was, and she said funfetti. So I got an extra funfetti, which Alex was really excited about that because he likes like the funfetti cookies. And then, yeah, that was it. And then, so I filmed that, and then after all my videos were getting up and stuff, I was watching the tail end of 13 Ghosts, and I don't remember the last time I saw it. I don't remember anything about that movie, but I definitely would never have guessed that Matthew Lillard was in it. I did not know that. This is the remake. I think there was a 13 Ghosts from like the 30s or 40s, not the 30s, but like the 40s or 50s that they put out. And then that went into Creepshow. But I started watching Welcome to Plathville while I was eating dinner. I watched the second episode of Welcome to Plathville. I was like trying to find like articles about whether Ethan and Olivia are still married or not, because like their marriage is literally falling apart as like you watch the show. It's like, which I guess in the 6th episode they announced that they're getting separated, but then they were talking about their social media. Well, I had already gone to their social media and seen that since then they've posted pictures together and stuff, but like it's really ambiguous, like the sayings underneath it, like you can't tell if they're still together or not. So I'm like, are they still a couple? Or are they not a couple? Like what's going on, right? But like I read these articles, it was like things that people don't know about the show that are like whatever. You know, they make such a huge deal out of the fact that like their kids can't play video games, and then like in the episode that I watched tonight, the 2nd episode, Isaac, who's like their son that's like 15 or something, he has literally this 3-paneled video game simulation thing. Like they show him playing it. And I'm like, okay, your kids don't have video games, but he literally has, I mean, I've never seen a video console system like this. Like, this is, like, massive for, like, a 15-year-old, right? And then there's another part where, the mom is talking about how much she misses Ethan, and he's taking what looks like books out of a bookshelf. Like, they're showing this scene from back in the day when he's kind of being, like, goofy. She's like, I just miss his goofy self. And so she's, like, they're showing this scene, and it's him, like, taking, it looks like books out of a bookshelf. They're, like, he's, like, taking and holding and showing to the camera and then coming back. But it's actually all video games. When you look at it, it's, like, a whole row of video games. And I'm like, so the kids aren't allowed to play video games, but I'm pretty sure that those are video games or Blu-ray movies or a mix of both. And I'm like, this is really, really weird. Like they would just say these things, you know? I don't know. I'm not buying the show anymore. I don't believe it's real. And of course I'll still keep watching it. Just like I did, what's that show that I watched for years and years and years? knows best. Chrisley knows best. Yeah, I watched that show for years. And I tweeted out once, this is so funny, I tweeted out something like, I love Chrisley Knows Best, but I just wished I would stop acting like it wasn't scripted or something. But I wish it wasn't so scripted or something like that. Which, if you've ever watched Chrisley Knows Best, it's literally the most scripted show in the entire world, okay? It's the most scripted reality show. It's like, the beginning of it, we're gonna prank Grandma Faye, and then Grandma Faye and her girlfriend, they love to have all these drinks and go to the casino boat, you know, and so then it's, you know, it's just, the whole thing is contrived. It's very, very contrived. And I don't care that it's contrived. It's a sweet family show. That's why I watched it. I liked it because it was a sweet family show. I didn't have a problem with it being, I mean, the reality is that they're real people. But the storylines, I think some of them are true, like Savannah moving to go to college, or, you know, on and on and on. But do I think some of the storylines are true? Yes, I think some of the storylines are true. I think the majority of the storylines are true. I think the things that happen on the show are contrived. Just like, do you think all these gals from the Real Housewives would go out to dinner? And, I mean, as much as that is not how real dinners work. Let's just, well, maybe in my husband's life, I don't know. Tanya tonight said, she said, your husband goes out to more dinner. She's like, he's the most social person. I said, oh, Tanya, trust me, I know. But anyway, you know, like, the way that they're always having, like, once a week, they're having, like, a dinner party, and then they all go out to dinner somewhere, and then they're having, like, this contrived lunch where they're talking about, I mean, that doesn't happen in real life. Like, we believe that it does because it's the Real Housewives. My battery is dying. We believe that it does because it's the Real Housewives, but that's not really how the real world works, you know? Is it scripted and contrived? Sure. Do we care because it's reality TV? No, we accept that. Well, anyway, I tweeted, it's just not that deep. I tweeted out, it's just not that deep. Remember I used to say that all the time? I tweeted out, I love Chrisley Knows Best, I wish it wasn't so scripted. And he tweeted me back, and he was like, scripted? I wish it was scripted. And I'm like, oh, okay. My water is gone, and now I'm like really thirsty. I used to say when I was a kid, I'd say, I'm thirsty, and my mom would say, nice to meet you, Thursday, I'm Friday. Oh, well listen, you guys, actually, I think I'm gonna end the vlog here a little early so that I can listen to my audiobook. So I'm gonna get off here before the battery dies and end it here a longer one tomorrow, I promise. Anyway, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Tuesday, and I love you so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Bye. Love you. Oh, and for those of you that want to hear it, and those of you that need to hear it, and just anybody else out there, if you stayed this long, one more, I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.